As we approach the anniversary of our 62nd year of independence, we encourage you, amongst all the festivities, do not forget the meaning behind the celebration and try to understand why we need to take it a step further and claim full and true independence. In the words of one of our greats, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Hello there, welcome to this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have a wonderful lineup just for you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You know the adage, water is life? Rightly stated, as it supports all living beings. But with the passing of a hurricane, supply may be compromised and properly stored water could just become our lifeline. Step 1. It is best to use food-grade containers to store water. This means that the material used is fit for human consumption and won't have toxic substances entering your water. Step 2. Be sure to wash and rinse the container thoroughly in preparation for water storage. Step 3. After filling the container, be sure to seal it tightly. If it has a screw-on cap, ensure it's tightly closed. This will prevent contamination. Step 4. Also, to prevent contamination, store water in a cool, dark place. This is to minimize exposure to temperature fluctuations, which can degrade the quality of the water and the container. Step 5. Replace stored water frequently to ensure freshness. You may use older water for non-drinking purposes. Step 6. Additionally, you may want to label the containers with the date of storage. This will help you keep track of how long the water has been stored. Step 7. Drinking water containing bacteria and viruses can lead to serious health issues and diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, or dysentery. If you're in doubt as to the state of your drinking water, you may want to apply water purification methods such as boiling to get rid of any bacteria. Step 8. Finally, going back to point number 1, do not store water in containers that have been used for chemicals or substances that can leach into the water and your system. Ensure that your stored water remains safe and drinkable. Protect your water, and it will protect you.
As we are in the rainy season, and especially with the recent passage of Hurricane Beryl, it is important to explore mosquito issues and what can be done. With us today is the Director of the Environmental Health Unit within the Ministry of Health to discuss these vector control measures. Let's listen in.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. Today we're diving into the crucial efforts to combat the increase in the mosquito population since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. As concerns grow about the Aedes aegypti, which transmits the dengue virus, we sit down with the Director of Environmental Health Unit in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Michael Williams. He's here to help us understand the vector control measures in their ongoing efforts. Welcome to the program, Mr. Williams.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, let's jump right into getting some facts. Now, how big is the issue of disease spread by mosquito vectors in Jamaica right now, post-Beryl?
All right. So in Jamaica currently, with the advent of Hurricane Beryl, there has been an exponential increase in the mosquito population.
Oh, wow.
So it includes the vector mosquitoes, the vectors of diseases, as well as the nuisance mosquitoes.
Real quick definition right there.
Vectors are those that will cause diseases of public health significance. So we're talking about, in the past, our Zika, or chikungunya, and farther back in the past, yellow fever,
Right.
which was all in Jamaica, and currently dengue.
Understood. Understood.
So those are our vector mosquitoes. And then we have the nuisance mosquitoes, which will also bite, which will sing at your ears all night and annoy you.
But no disease.
No diseases. No diseases, yes.
So you're saying an exponential increase.
Definitely.
And with the advent of that exponential increase, and we know what causes mosquitoes,
Right.
What specific actions are being taken and are most effective? That's what I really want to know. What works best?
All right. And let me just say that before I go into that, Theodore. The mosquitoes will lay eggs wherever there is water.
Right.
And if there's no water, we have species that lay eggs in the sand.
Wow.
However, once the eggs are covered by water, the hatching will take place within 1 to 2 days.
Days.
And that is why after a good shower of rain,
Right.
people complain that what a whole lot of mosquitoes. The eggs were there.
Oh.
You only need the eggs to be covered with water.
Right.
And they hatch out within 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
So, since we had the advent of Hurricane Beryl, the Ministry of Health, let me begin by saying this, planned for all events, including Hurricane Beryl.
Okay.
Usually about June, July of every year, the ministry increases its staff cadre of vector workers
Hurricane season.
in preparation for hurricane season, in preparation for the rainy season.
Right.
So normally we have about 400 to 500 permanent staff. Once it touches June, July, we double that number.
Right.
And with the advent of Hurricane Beryl, we are thinking of tripling that number because the demand is there.
Okay.
So what we have done since Beryl is to move full scale into the employment of additional vector control workers. That's one thing.
Right.
So these vector control workers will be needed to go out into the community to do search and destroy of mosquito breeding sites,
All right.
to do larvicidal action. Larvicidal, we're talking about the immature mosquito.
Right.
Larvae and pupae.
And we're killing them.
They call them the wigglers, see?
Yes.
So the vector team goes out, they do that, they do source reduction, destroy breeding sites, turn over containers. They do health education, speak to the occupants of homes, of businesses, and tell them about the danger of breeding mosquitoes. They do other things such as do rapid surveys to find out which mosquitoes are breeding, what is the primary containers they're breeding in, and how dense is the mosquito population.
Right.
So that's why we need the extra staff. And especially with the advent of Hurricane Beryl, we need boots on the ground. We have done that. Another thing the ministry has done is to increase its capacity to destroy adult mosquitoes. So we have bought 50 thermal foggers. These are the handheld machines that you see, that you call it the smoke, the insecticide coming out. Yeah. So we have put another 50. Before that we had about 350, 400 in the community across Jamaica. So we have added another 50, and also we have added 10 ULV machines. So this is the low volume machines that you see on the back of the pickups.
Okay, that drives through.
Yes, and that gives you a more powerful output of your insecticide, and it goes out into the community. One thing I want to say though, Theodore, a lot of people when they see the mosquito, the vector control workers coming around, they scamper inside and they lock up the windows and door. That's wrong, wrong, wrong. Because you want the insecticide to come into the house. So when you go in and you lock up your windows and door, you're locking in yourself and the mosquitoes in the house.
I see.
So unless you have somebody who is asthmatic, or who has serious respiratory illness, open your door, open your windows, so that the insecticide can come in and kill the mosquitoes. There will be a lot of agitation of the adult mosquito. Some people say, boy, this spray just rake up the mosquito. That is
Well, that's a good
that's
thing.
intentional.
Right.
Yes, it's a contact insecticide.
Yeah.
Once it makes contact with the vectors and the nuisance mosquitoes, they will die. Another thing householders can do is that before you leave your homes in the morning, the same commercial insecticide that you use to spray ants and roach, spray out your homes. Now is the time you lock up your windows and door.
Keep it in.
Keep it in.
Right.
And when you come home in the evening, you shouldn't have any mosquitoes inside. So I'm just telling you what the ministry has done.
Got you,
So we have
got you.
increased our fogging
Yes.
morning and afternoon.
All right, so I'm gonna pause you right there because we're
Right.
gonna head to a break. And one thing I'm getting from your answer thus far is that it's not even just any one solution.
No.
It's a comprehensive
Yes.
package, and that's been going on.
Definitely.
We're going to take a break right now, but please stay with us. We're talking mosquitoes and the reduction of mosquitoes and mosquito-borne diseases, and we'll be right back.
Householders, business people, school administrators, be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We are discussing vector control measures with Director of the Environmental Health Unit, Michael Williams. Sir Williams, let's pick up right where we left off. You mentioned new foggers, the handheld ones,
Yes.
so north of 450 now in the island. We have the truck-borne ones.
The ULV machines.
Right, tripling the number of boots on the ground,
Yes.
especially after burial. But how do you decide where gets the focus?
All right. And it's often the bone of contention in the community.
I can imagine.
Why are you not coming to spray my community? Let me tell you, Theodore.
Yes.
We are transparent in what we do and how we do it.
Okay.
So we intend to carry out adulticidal, larvicidal activities in all communities across Jamaica. I want this to be clear. Not because you do not see the thermal fogging coming through your community, it means that we are not in the community.
Okay.
There are boots on the ground doing the source reduction, the larvicidal, and the health education. So yes, we try to equally give attention to all the communities. One thing I must say though, if we have a case of dengue, then that community gets preference.
Right to the top of the
So
plan.
your community, let us say you live in, Theodore, you look like you live in Beverly Hills.
That's it. I'll work on it.
So if you're on the list, if Beverly Hills is on the list to be fogged,
Right.
however, there are 5 new cases of dengue fever, we'll have to make a switch, Theodore.
Oh.
Because the presence of the disease in the community means that it has to be given priority attention.
'Cause that can lead
Whether
to
it's
an outbreak.
Thank you very much. So it could be malaria, it could be dengue. Then we'll have to go in, do the spraying, and that entire area gets full attention. Plus we have boots on the ground to do assessment. We go around to ask people, do you have fever? Do you have any other signs and symptoms? Because we don't want the transmission of the
Right.
disease in the community.
Right.
But as I said, all communities will be getting attention. And remember, we're talking about morning and evening,
Right.
AM and PM. So we know that the mosquitoes bite dusk and dawn. Not to say they won't bite in the days, because if the population is huge and the female wants her blood, any time of day she will bite.
Right.
So let us say an area like New Kingston with the heavy pedestrian and vehicular traffic, we would normally spray at about, say, 4:35, 6.
Right.
Even 6, the traffic begin to, so we would stop at that time. and then we come back in the afternoon. Part of the thing that determines when we spray and where we spray is the vehicular traffic and the pedestrian traffic. But we do try to put in the adulticide activities twice per day.
I have a big
7 days per week, Theodore.
Right.
7 days per week. We have stepped it up. 7
I have
days
a big
per week.
question for you though. So and I think one of the foundations of people saying why you don't come to my community is
Right.
I see a mosquito, I feel a mosquito.
Right.
But certainly that can't be how we judge success at your level.
No.
How do you judge success?
All right. How do we judge success? Pre-Hurricane Beryl, we want to see no outbreak of vector-borne disease in Jamaica.
Okay, fair.
One thing.
Fair.
Also, we want to have our mosquito indices within the threshold, within the limits. So there are 3 indices. We have the container index, house index, and the Berthaud index.
Right.
So the container index is really looking at the ratio of the immature mosquitoes, larvae, and pupae found in containers. So you want that ratio. The house index, you want to see the amount of larvae and pupae per house in the community. And your
Okay.
Berthaud, you want to know how many containers are breeding the larvae and pupae per 100 houses in the community.
Right.
So you want to keep your indices within the threshold. For the container index and that, you want to keep it at 1% or below. For your Berthaud index, which is really the cream of the crop, when we have a Berthaud index of 25, 1 to 25,
Right.
it's an indication that the risk for an outbreak is low.
Right.
1 to 25, Berthaud index. 26 to 50, that's medium risk of an outbreak.
And above
And
that.
if your index for your Berthaud is 51 and above, it means there's a high risk for an outbreak of
Right.
the disease.
We're almost out of time, so I want to pack a little bit more into it. So based on your indices, based on what you see in the field, you know, and based on what isn't present
Thank
in
you.
terms of outbreaks and diseases,
Beautiful.
you know. So tell me, how important, in the last 20 seconds that we have, how important is partnerships with businesses and partners? How do you work with partners in getting this done?
Definitely, Theodore. So we have many partners, stakeholders out there. Our biggest and most important stakeholder is the Jamaican community.
Okay.
We want the community, our fellow Jamaicans, to take mosquito breeding and infestation seriously.
Right.
Containerize your garbage. Don't throw the bottles and the cans outside. The tires you take off your vehicle. Don't do that. Cover it up with a piece of tarpaulin.
Right.
We want you to protect yourself. If you have to go outside, wear your long sleeve shirt, long pants. Use a repellent with DEET. Spray the parts of your bodies that are exposed.
Any natural remedies work?
Yes, you know, there are some essential oils that are good at repelling mosquito. The eucalyptus oil.
I've heard citronella.
Citronella, yes.
Okay.
Many of them.
Right.
Very good at repelling mosquitoes. And so other partners are our solid waste agency
Right.
to pick up the garbage regularly.
Definitely.
We talk about the municipal corporation and water commission,
Right.
the leaking pipes and hydrant and the water pooling. Also the works agency to fix the gullies and the drains that have broken up, creating all of these cisterns for mosquitoes to breed in.
Some of which are out of sight, right?
And so these are our major partners, but the most important stakeholder,
I think you should say this directly to the stakeholder.
the most important stakeholder
Yes.
in controlling the vector and nuisance mosquito is the Jamaican public. Protect yourself. The Ministry of Health is doing everything we can do. The public is called upon to play a role in the fight against dengue fever and vector-borne disease in general. And if we fight, We're not fighting to lose.
No.
We're going to win.
That's right, that's right. A comprehensive picture of mosquito and vector control in Jamaica, especially in the post-burial season. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Director of the Environmental Health Unit in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Michael Williams. Thank you for watching, and thank you for partnering in the fight against vectors. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care.
He has won the Jamaica Festival Song Competition 4 times and won Best Performer 5 times. He's an awesome singer and an equally good crowd pleaser. And he's conscious of his impact on festival music lovers. Who is he? Let's watch to find out.
The biggest mistake a teacher made, she told me that I could sing and I believed her. See it now.
Me glad say me mother make me understand. If it turn me hand and I make fashion. For later when rough times start to sting, we have to remember old times is thing. Deregulation can't stop the celebration. Go and tell a nation we are for Jamaican. When this time of year come, don't care if the money done. Join the celebration in our little island. Everybody, come rock, make we have a little party.
The singer, who's seen more than 3 scores, has been partying ever since he was about 10 years old, when the music sank into his bones. Whether it be from local performances or those in the wider music circuit.
And I went to the Christmas concert and I saw a band. But funny, I ended up playing the guitar, but when I saw that, I went back home and I saw that band that Christmas morning. And find some pan and paint pan and paper and make drum and pianize and singing and all of that.
With a legend living in the neighboring community in Westmoreland where he's from, his inspiration for music kept growing.
I remember seeing Peter Tosh, because Peter Tosh is from Westmoreland, a little boy, and I used to buy his records and listen. One of his songs I liked was not really one of those songs that it was more the spoken word he was talking about, I can't remember the whole thing, but can't forget the line when he said, harm no man, let no man harm you.
His love for music has led Roy to walk miles to be entertained.
I used to leave South, sometimes walk from South to Little London to watch Kenrick Williams and a band play. Lindell used to play bass. I remember Kenrick, I don't remember the drummer. Yeah, Pablo was the drummer. And just go watch them, follow them, for the love of the music. And then sometimes, you're saying on the bus fare, so you're going to walk the 6 miles back to Sab and then up to, so you're talking about 9 miles, you're talking about like 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening.
Then it became time for Roy to enter the big leagues, or at least attempt it.
I entered and it was actually Rayon and the Soul Harmonians, right? Never won, but the experience was good. I entered again, I know in 75. That time, I walk on the guitar.
Later that year, he left for Kingston, where he would take a minor detour on his singing journey.
It would have been about 1978 I went to, and I saw Amina Blackwood meet. She asked me if I ever tried to go to drama school, because she heard me reading a poem.
And while he has done some acting, Roy stayed on the path of his first love, writing music and entering the festival competition, hoping for his big break. He first entered what he called Big Festival in 1980, where Stanley and the Turbines Come Sing With Me bested everyone.
This train is for you. Celebration train. This train is for me. Celebration train. Don't need no favor. Celebration train. Just need good behavior. She say why? And she say why?
Roy entered in 1983 with Celebration Train, and though he didn't win, he credits this song with making him known and making people realize that he was someone to watch. His moment would come in 85 with Love Fever, a song he can hardly hit a stage and never perform thereafter.
I know something is in the air. I love fever is everywhere. Oh, no matter with the nurse, no matter with the doctor. This fever reach epidemic proportion. No matter call the nurse, I send you home the dog. I just a fever, I go call a commotion. Fever, feel it in the air. Love fever, feel it everywhere. Love fever, feel it all around. This fever, I go mash it down. Teach we make it. Fever make it.
Written by Grub Cooper of the band Fab Five, the song was meant for Rita Marley as a follow-up to her hit One Draw. Well, Rita passed on it, and as they say, the rest is history.
I thank her for not singing that song. Yeah.
After that win with Love Fever, Roy would return in 87 with Give Thanks and Praises, marking Jamaica's 25th year since independence. We did the unthinkable. Something like asking a mother to choose a favorite from among her children. We asked Roy to choose his favorite, and he obliged.
Number 3, Rise and Shine, and I'm going to tell you why. I wrote the song. You know what is unfortunate? I don't even sing that song as often because it's in the era when the song didn't play and people don't know the song. Love Fever was the first winner. So there is something there. Give Thanks and Praises in terms of spontaneity, in terms of people hear the song and instantly that frenzy. So it would be Give Thanks and Praises.
Roy Rayon has much hope for the festival song competition's future showings, but he admits that its longevity depends on maintaining traditions.
When you go to England, what you find, or Europe, when you go to a show, you have mother, or you have 3 generations. So, yes, I would say mother, child, grandchild at a concert. We didn't do it, so you see that connection and continuity, you know. So we've lost out. We've lost out on that.
Rise and shine, my people, rise and shine. This is Festival 2000 love. Show some love, Jamaican, show some love. This is Festival 2000 great.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's show. To catch a repeat of this or any other, feel free to log on to our website at gis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.